Wir machen jetzt noch hier das Letter Bad Ending. Ich skippe vermutlich bis zu einem Punkt, wo es relevant hier, wo es relevant wird. Oh, what the fuck, dude? Oh. What the fuck, dude? Nee, ich bin jetzt gerade nicht damit einverstanden. Warum sind wir alleine hier? Wo? Nee. Nee. Nee, das sehe ich gar nicht ein. Nee. We have to go back in time. Wie? Ich komm nicht weiter zurück. Scheiße. Ah, was? Aber warum? Oh. God damn it. Kann ich den ganzen Scheiß nochmal machen? So, jetzt geht's aber wieder ab. Hier wird ordentlich auf die Schnauze gehauen und, na, wenn ich jetzt immer so gucke, da machen wir da auch gar nichts gegen. Lasst uns einfach dazu bleiben, ne? Haut euch mal ruhig aufs Maul, Mädels. I've decided whatever happens, it doesn't concern me. But on the other hand, how can I remain indifferent? Am I a real man? Na. Es passiert einfach dasselbe. Okay. Oh. Ich wusste nicht mal, was zensieren aussieht. Ihr seid extrem schnell und könnt einen Frame stoppen. Viel Spaß dabei. It was close to 10 p.m. Well, it's probably time to get up. I gave Lena a gentle nudge on the shoulder. Okay, das ist, She opened her eyes. Good morning. Well, evening, in fact. Hi. She smiled tenderly. Ach, wir haben wieder das Uralgebirge vor unseren Augen. Time to get up, sleepyhead. Are you in a hurry? Well, no. But we're completely alone to get in this camp. So what? She took a good look at fucking me. She took a good look at me. Well, nothing. When will Olga return? Is it that important to you? She got a heavy look on her face. Well, without food, we're going to die here. I laughed. I just did a joke. No offense. You're free to leave then. She looked away towards the wall. But how can I leave? On the bus, of course. There are no buses here. Then why do you think there's a bus stop for bus route 410 there here? Frankly, I don't know. I told Olga that I had some matters to urgently resolve here, and you will go, and we will come later. What? I felt like I would been struck by lightning. I didn't know what I should be more surprised about, the fact that there are buses passing here, or by the fact that the camp leader agreed to leave 2 pioneers behind in an empty camp just like that. What I said. You mean that we can leave? Go on, no one's holding you, she said, all that while sitting utterly still, in fact, so still that her words gave me grave cold chills. Okay, I'm sorry that I reacted that way. It's just everything that's happened today has been a total surprise to me. You didn't look too surprised a few hours ago. I've probably said something wrong. Completely wrong. Well, don't get offended. We won't be staying here till the ends of times, right? If there's a way to leave... Lena didn't say anything. I looked at her and tried to understand what she's thinking. Fine. Ja, 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 ja. Gehen wir. Ja. She exclaimed cheerfully after a pause, then jumped off of the bed and started to dress quickly. Das ist nie ein gutes Zeichen. Come on, pack your stuff, meet me at the square in 10 minutes. Lena leaned over and gave me a passionate kiss. Wir werden sterben. Richtig? Also, ich habe das Gefühl, wir werden sterben. Alright. I stepped out of her cabin and ran to the camp leader's cabin. Frankly speaking, I had almost nothing to pack. I tossed my winter clothing into a bag, shoved my phone into my pocket and headed to the square. 15 minutes have passed already, but Lena still wasn't here. I justified it with the fact that she has lots of stuff to pack and accordingly she needs much more time to get ready. Zwei Vermutungen, sie hat sich gerade eben umgebracht oder sie hat uns verlassen. Mit dem Bus. However, she didn't come even in half an hour, and I started to suspect something. My legs ushered me to her cabin before I realized it. I flung the door open and saw Lena lying on the bed. What? Oh boy! Nicht vergessen, Kinder, es ist mit der Straße nicht drüber. Oh shit, dude. Everything around her was soaked with blood. The bed sheets, the blanket, the floor was wet with blood, and I can see a huge slit on Lena's forearm. I ran to her and started shaking her by her shoulders. Lena! Lena! Why? She was still conscious. Hi, Semyon. Oh, I hate myself. A weak smile froze on her lips. Hang on! Hey, don't you pass out. I'll think of something right now. Listen, everything's going to be fine. You're not going to die. Of course, I didn't believe it myself. Lena had slit her veins from her elbow all the way down to her wrist. It was a deep cut, and given all the time I've spent waiting her at the square, she'll bled a lot. Probably even an ambulance won't do anything by now, and here in the empty camp, away from the world, Lena had zero chance of survival. How stupid can you be? I embraced and held her tightly. Tears were running down by my cheeks, disappearing in her hair. Her hair. I've never cried so hard in my entire life. Fool! Why did you have to cut down the road? Sorry. Manchmal habe ich das Gefühl, Samuel und ich, wir haben verbundene... Jesus! Why did you have to cut down the road? Everyone else does it across the street and you cut down the road. Sorry! Jesus. Oh. Wisst ihr, ich habe eigentlich gedacht, yo, geil, Feels. Ich bekomme die Feel-Route. Lena ist voll die Feel-Route. Und was passiert? Ich verstehe das gute Ending nicht wirklich und finde es eher doof irgendwie. Und hier lache ich mir jetzt einen Arsch ab. Oh Gott, das ist... Eigentlich soll ich total traurig sein, so im Sinne von, oh nein! Ich glaube, ich sollte mir angewöhnen, zuerst das schlechte Ende zu spielen und dann das gute. Das ist irgendwie manchmal, ich weiß auch nicht, das macht in so vielen Dingen einfach mehr Sinn. Aber egal. Sorry. It happened as it did. Ach ja, ich hab mir gerade einen Ellenbogen, ich hab mich hier gerade aufgeschlitzt, ist passiert. She muttered faintly. But why? Why? I'm tired. So tired. Lena went silent. I looked straight into her eyes. She was still conscious, but the last flicker of life was quickly dying in her. I'm so tired of it all. Wearing a mask. Suffering. I just wanted to be with you. But you've left me too. Ja, natürlich, wir wollten, also... Ich wollte doch zusammen mit dir gehen. Oh. I never went anywhere. Here I am. Why? What have you done? I'm sorry. I was choked with tears, unable to say anything. I'm sorry. I'll be seeing you later. I embraced her even tighter. Lena's breath was getting weaker, and soon enough it stopped forever. Horror struck. I jumped away from the bed. My eyes went dark. My heart was beating wildly, and I spotted the blood-stained knife laying on the floor. Oh, dude! A moment later, I was holding it in my hands. No, boy! The blade holded a hair spread away from my waist. Oh, dude! But why? How will that help? I sat there completely freaked out and just stared at Lena. No, you aren't dead. I exploded with hysterical laughter. Oh nein, Semyon wird wahnsinnig! Come on, sleepyhead, it's time to wake up! I said softly and shook her by the shoulders. But Lena didn't wake up. What am I? What have I done? I jumped out of the cabin in horror and ran like a mad. I don't know how much time passed, but finally I wore myself out and collapsed on the ground. Hostile silence was all around me and only this... Warte. Sorry, ich muss grad... Na? Ihr wisst ja. Hostile silence was all around me and only the stars looked down on me in quiet rebuke. These were the same stars that Lena admired yesterday. Yet another crying spell tore me apart. Why? Why did she do it? Because I left her? Where had I gone? I never left her and wasn't going to. Only at this moment did I realize that she was truly important to me. I realized that despite all her quirks, everything that happened today, everything that happened during the short period of our acquaintance, she suddenly became the most precious thing in my life. And I instantly forgot about her, about her feelings, as soon as I heard about the damn bus. Indeed, it can justify her act, but how could I have stopped thinking of her at all? I lay there for a long time, watching the stars. The trees were peacefully swaying in the gentle night breeze above my head. The trees didn't give a damn about what was happening to me. The landscape seemed familiar. Suppressing my tears, I headed back towards the camp. Everything in here seemed to be the same as yesterday, as a few days ago. The square, Jenna's memorial, the cabins of the pioneers, Lena's cabin. I was all torn up inside. It felt like the pain will tear my body into millions of little pieces any moment now. I fell to my knees and began punching the ground until my fists were completely stained with blood. If only I would realize just a bit earlier. Just a moment earlier, I'm not asking for more. She was so... Even the slightest of hints was enough for her. Only at this moment did I realize that Lena had died. And a part of me had died with her. Probably the part of me that I would call the best. I came to my senses after a while, standing in her cabin. The blood had dried up already. The moonlight was no longer reflecting in it. I went to her bed and sat down next to Lena's body. I was terribly afraid to be here, but I felt that I had to tell her something. "I'm sorry," I started. "It's far too late, of course, but if you can hear me out there somewhere, just remember, please, I will love you forever, for the rest of my life." And that was the plain truth. I'm sorry that I ignored your feelings. I'm sorry that I always thought only about myself. I'm sorry for everything. It was me who should have died, not you. I covered her body with a blanket and slowly left to the cabin. I slowly left the cabin. I regained consciousness at the bus stop. "So, running away, scumbag?" I muttered darkly to myself. I couldn't stand to stay. I couldn't stand to stay a single minute longer in this camp. Lena will never come back. I can't justify for what I have done. I'll just wait for the bus that will take me away from here. I didn't give the slightest damn about what's going to happen to me tomorrow or in an hour. I don't care about answers. I don't care about how I got here. Soon enough, I saw a glimmer of dim light in the distance. Somehow, I wasn't surprised at all. In a minute, I was sitting in an empty bus number 410, but was looking into the dark of the night through a weather-beaten window. My mind was blank. Everything that makes us human, feelings, emotions, aspirations, suffering, I left it all back there in that pioneer camp. Now all I have is this night and the empty bus. There's no more future, no more present. If I die tomorrow, that will only mean that yet another human body had to cease to exist. The real me died there a few hours ago. I don't know how much time passed, but the fatigue overtook me. I wasn't going to fight it, as it made absolutely no difference whether I'm sleeping or awake. I could barely hold my eyes open, and soon enough I passed out. There are moments when reality becomes unimportant, insignificant, unworthy of attention. There are moments when your spiritual torment overshadows everything else. And even if the world ended, you would not notice. If a knife were to pierce you, you would not notice. Even boiling for eternity in the cauldrons of hell would seem like just a minor inconvenience. After all, there are problems more important than that. When I opened my eyes, I realized that something is wrong. I took a while for clarity of thought to return. Finally, I realized that I'm not in a bus, but I'm in my old apartment. Well, that was to be expected. As if I will spend the whole week preparing for an exam and at the last minute had spectacularly failed. And the rest of this failure was my return to the real world. However, now it didn't seem any more real to me than Soviet pioneer camp. No wonder. Reality is what you can hear, feel, touch, and taste. And all that was really there. That world was surreal to the smallest detail. Sometimes it seemed more like it was my past life that was for a fiction. And now I have to remember now to exist here. Though why? I felt like a man who had been thrown out of a car at full speed without even noticing it. It was left lying on the roadside with broken arms and legs, while the car disappeared into the night, taking with it the last traces of hope. Lena. Her image surfaced in my fevered brain, so clearly that I wanted to cry unbearably. No, I wanted to shout, tearing out clumps of hair, smashing my fists on the wall, making inhuman screams. However, my soul was empty. I tried in vain to find at least the echoes of pain, guilt, or pity for her, but nothing came. I was just lying here and staring at the ceiling. I was not at all interested in how and why I came back. After all, who cares about the process of selling your soul to the devil, or the legal formalities of the contract, signatures, stamps and seals? What is more important is the result, and this is the result I got. No, it's not that I was sent back to reality. If I had gotten to the destination on that bus, it would hardly have changed anything for me. In this case, the result is what happened to Lena, and the reason is my actions. I was absolutely sure about that. After all, she could not just do it for no reason. No, Lena's not like that. So it's all my fault. It's hard to live, knowing that you were the reason for someone else's death. As if I personally held a knife, calmly and carefully slit open her wrist and watched her die. Ach so, ja. And then just run away. Of course, I couldn't do anything in that situation, but I still felt that I would behave like a coward. No, even worse. Although, does it really matter what the best definition of my action is? I cursed myself for remaining so calm while thinking about the situation. After all, I should be mourning Lena and blaming myself. But now nothing is up to me. If I was not able to back then, I started shivering. My body was trembling, and it was getting hard to breathe. Self-preservation instincts overtook guilt for a while, and I staggered to the kitchen to drink a sedative. They can always be found in the cupboard of every antisocial person like me. Was ist eine Sedative? Eine Tablette oder was? Once I was taking half of the tablet that ran the packet, I returned to the room and I returned to the computer. Remaining in silence was unbearable. I played the first random song and soon realized that it was probably the most depressing piece of music I had on my hard drive. However, I didn't want to turn it off. The background noise helped dampen my thoughts. I had to decide what to do with my life next. I was sure about one thing. Everything had happened in the camp, my appearance in it, my unexpected return. I didn't care about any of it. And not just that, I didn't care about the context or the reasons of those events either. The only thing that mattered was Lena. I was horribly stumbled over the words was. Indeed, she's gone. Of course, it's possible that it was just a dream and she never existed in the first place. But then again, our real world could just be someone's raving delusion as well. Why not? If people suffer from losing their loved ones here, why should I think of Lena's death there as just a result of my sick imagination? I saw it all, with my own eyes. I felt the shock, fear and fright. Damn it. For me, it's not that it was reality. It still is reality. Is and will be. And I'm sure I'm not daydreaming. Though it would be better if I would dream that. The dreadful howl of guitars boomed from the speakers. It sounded like a requiem. A requiem for me. And now I have to live with this sense of guilt? No, I won't take it. My mind was exactly a paragon of stability, but not even a man with stable mind could withstand shocks like this. And I already feel that I'm going mad. I try to suppress all these thoughts. No, not to forget, just to give myself some rest. Just for a minute. But it didn't work. Pain wrecked my body again and again. I was already starting to feel it physically. However, physical pain is always weaker than mental. I fell to the floor, clasped my knees and began rocking back and forth in a fetal position. Blood pounded in my head so heavily that it felt like my skull could shatter any moment now. I hit a table leg, and a little candle rolled out from under a pile of papers. A little one, 20 centimeters long. It was bent and at an almost 90-degree angle, but still retained its shape. The wick protruded from one end. Oh, dude! Da sind wir wieder beim Satz vom guten Ende mit der Kerze. Oh, shit. I searched for light and lit up the candle. Let it be in the memory of Lena. Maybe in another world she's feeling better then. I sat on the floor and watched as the wax slowly dropped onto my fingers. I felt no pain at all. Probably my nervous system was so exhausted that it was unable to transmit the pain impulses to my brain. The fire calmed me a little. I just watched the flame and did not think about anything. Finally, at least some peace of mind. The candle was halfway done. Suddenly I imagined that my life is this very candle. Not just mine, any person's life. All that we have been given from above is its full length. But anything can happen. The wind may blow, the holding hand may tremble, or the wick may burn out. And the life will end before it should have. After all, each candle can be different. Such as this one, 9 cents. One twice as thick, 20, and huge ones, as thick as the handle of a shovel, 185. I wonder, did Lena's candle burn out ahead of its time, or was it just smaller than the other ones? Though I doubt there can be one smaller than mine. I rotated the candle in my hands. How interesting is that? I can blow out the flame any moment, and that's it. But in the meantime, life is not wax. You can combine 2 small candles to make one of medium size. I would love to give the remains of mine to Lena. To anyone who needs it more than I do. Why will I need it? I do not feel pain from the heated wax. Its flame does not give me any warmth. It hardly illuminates the room. I put it bluntly, a waste of ropes, wax and oxygen. I blew out a candle. The action evoked absolutely no emotions in me. I slowly stood up and headed to the bathroom. What are you doing? Oh, dude. Der hat ziemlich kleine Nippel, muss ich ja schon sagen. Sein Grinsen im Gesicht. Fucking smirk face. Yeah, I did it. Cut down the road, not across the street. Everyone else cuts across, but you're going right down the image of Lena appeared before my eyes. She was smiling. Well, definitely meet again. I'm so sorry. Warm water, shadows, and dying dreams have finally brought me some peace. It really might be that I never actually went to the camp, or that I never actually came back. But does it really matter now? I almost physically felt Lena's embrace. Everything will be alright. We'll catch the bus together and ride into the place where nobody will find us, where we'll be happy together. My strength left me and I started to sink into the water that was already spilling over the edge of the tub. We will surely meet. Forgive me. It's down the road, not across the street. The fuck is this music? Oh, dude. Russian metal. Scheiße, Russian Metal ist, glaube ich, das einzige Metal, was mir gerade gefällt. Holy shit. Ich mag sonst überhaupt kein Metal, ja, aber Russian Metal klingt gut. Klingt so Gopnik. Gopnik Metal. Alter, gibt es Gopnik Metal? Das wäre hart.